What if I told you that your future, your success, and everything you dream of doesn't depend on luck, talent, or even motivation? What if the real difference between those who win and those who keep waiting comes down to one unshakable truth? Your discipline determines your destiny. Let that sink in. Because right now there's a version of you, stronger, sharper, more fulfilled, waiting on the other side of the choices you make today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. We live in a world addicted to comfort. We chase inspiration, scroll endlessly for motivation, and convince ourselves that we'll start once we feel ready. But deep down, you already know that moment rarely comes. Because motivation fades, excuses multiply, life gets loud. And yet, there's one force that always cuts through the chaos. One internal power that separates the doers from the dreamers. One decision that rewrites your story day by day, rep by rep, choice by choice. That power is discipline. Not the kind of discipline that's forced or punishing. I'm talking about the kind that's rooted in love for your future. The kind that says, I respect myself too much to waste another day. The kind that doesn't need hype, doesn't need applause, just quiet, unshakable action. Look, no one's coming to save you. No perfect conditions are arriving to make it easier. And no magic moment is going to hand you the life you crave. But here's the good news. You don't need any of that. You already have everything it takes. You don't need more inspiration. You need a decision to commit, to stop making excuses, to stop tolerating average, to start becoming the version of yourself you know you're capable of being. This video isn't for people who want the easy way out. It's for those who are ready to trade comfort for growth, for those who are done waiting, for those who are done with half effort, half-hearted living. It's for you if you're ready to draw the line in the sand and say, I will no longer be a prisoner to my excuses. I will build the discipline my destiny demands. In this video, we're going deep into the truth about how discipline shapes your identity, destroys excuses, and leads to long-term freedom. Not just in fitness or business, but in mindset, habits, relationships, and legacy. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. This isn't about hype, it's about habits. And if you're ready, truly ready to stop starting over, to break the cycle, and to start winning on your terms, then lock in, turn the volume up, because everything changes now. No more waiting, no more blaming, no more excuses. Your discipline determines your destiny. Let's begin. The harsh truth about discipline. Let's cut through the noise. Let's get brutally honest. Discipline is the difference between wishing and winning. It's the separator between those who dream and those who do. It's not fancy, it's not flashy, and it doesn't care how you feel. Discipline is the quiet force that shows up every single day, regardless of emotion, excuses, or setbacks. It's waking up early when your bed feels like heaven. It's choosing focus when distractions are begging for your attention. It's showing up for yourself when no one's clapping, when no one's watching, when no one even knows what you're building. Most people wait for the perfect time. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right mood or circumstances. But the truth is, your destiny doesn't wait. Every second you delay, your future slips further away. Here's the harsh truth. The life you want isn't held back by a lack of potential. It's held back by a lack of discipline. Think of anyone you admire. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, artists. They didn't get there by chance. They got there by commitment. They got there by training themselves to follow through, even on days they didn't feel like it. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't want to. It's rejecting the easy path. It's knowing that short-term discomfort leads to long-term strength. And let's be honest, we live in a world that rewards quick fixes and shortcuts. A world where people want six-pack abs without workouts, wealth without work, peace without process. But the path to real success, it's paved in discipline. Discipline means telling yourself the truth. It means realizing that the story you've been telling, I'm too tired, I don't have time, I'll start tomorrow, is a lie that's keeping you stuck. And if you don't take control of your daily actions, those lies become your life. You want to change your future, change your habits. Show up for 10 minutes a day when it's hard. Push yourself to say no to the temptation. Stick to your plan, even when your feelings beg you not to. Because here's what no one tells you. Discipline isn't the enemy, it's the gateway. The gateway to strength, the gateway to confidence, the gateway to unlocking the version of yourself you haven't even met yet. So no, it won't be easy. But that's the point. Discipline trains your mind to do hard things. And when you master hard things, you become unbreakable. Let this be your reminder. Your dreams are waiting on your discipline. And your destiny, it's not a matter of luck. It's a matter of daily choices. No more excuses. It starts now. The lie of motivation. Let's get something straight. Motivation is not what creates results. Motivation is like a spark. It feels good, it's loud, it's exciting. But just like a spark, it burns out fast. And when it's gone, what are you left with? Most people wait around for motivation like it's some divine permission slip. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll commit when I'm inspired. I'll push harder once I'm motivated. But here's the truth. If you wait to feel motivated, you'll wait forever. The people who succeed, who actually change their lives, hit their goals and become unstoppable, aren't the ones who feel motivated every day. They're the ones who get up and take action even when they don't feel like it. They understand that results come from repetition, not emotion. Because motivation might get you started, but only discipline will carry you to the finish line. Think about it. You're not always going to feel inspired to go to the gym. You won't always be excited to write, study, practice, or build your dream. There will be days when you're tired, when you're distracted, when life hits you hard and all you want to do is quit. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline says, I don't need to feel like it. I'll do it anyway. Discipline trains you to be consistent regardless of your mood. And consistency, not emotion, is what builds momentum. When you look at high achievers, it's not just passion you're seeing. You're seeing hours of practice behind the scenes. You're seeing routines that were followed day in and day out. You're seeing discipline that never asked for attention, but always delivered results. Because motivation is like weather, it changes. But discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Let's be honest, there are things you don't feel motivated to do, but you still do them. Why? Oh, brush your teeth, not because you're hyped about it, but because it's part of your routine. Why? Because the cost of not doing it is too high. Your goals are the same. If you only show up when you feel good, you'll never build anything great. But if you show up no matter how you feel, you'll build a mindset that can't be broken. So the next time you catch yourself waiting for motivation, stop. Replace that mindset with a decision. I will train myself to follow through, regardless of how I feel. Because the future belongs to the disciplined, to the consistent, to the person who does the work even when their emotions don't cooperate. Remember, you don't need more motivation, you need more action. And with action comes results. With results comes confidence. And with confidence, you become unstoppable. Motivation fades, but discipline lasts. Small habits, massive consequences. You don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to change one thing, consistently. Here's a secret that few people talk about. The most powerful transformation in your life will not come from big, dramatic shifts. It will come from the small, quiet, repeated disciplines that you commit to every single day. Let that sink in, because you don't rise to the level of your motivation, your talent, or even your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and those systems are built on the foundation of habits. Tiny habits, daily disciplines, unseen repetitions. That's where the magic lives. Brushing your teeth seems insignificant, but do it daily for years and your entire health improves. 10 push-ups might not make you fit, but do it every morning for 6 months and your body begins to shift. Reading 10 pages won't make you a genius overnight, but try that every day for a year and your mind becomes a weapon. Why? Because consistency compounds. Success is not owned, it's rented. And the rent is due every single day. Most people want breakthrough results with zero foundational habits. They want the final chapter without writing the first sentence. They want the reward without the repetitions. But understand this, small disciplines, when multiplied by time, create a life that looks like luck to the outside world. When people see greatness, they often say, wow, they're so lucky. But what they didn't see were the mornings when that person woke up before the sun, the late nights of sacrifice, the boring, thankless reps that never went viral. That's the price of success, and it's paid in small daily actions. So ask yourself today, what is one thing I can commit to daily, no matter how I feel? What 10-minute discipline can I do every morning to anchor my mindset? What small positive habit can I build to move one closer to the person I want to be? Because 1% better every day doesn't sound like much. But over a year, that's 37x better. That's massive growth. And if you miss a day, don't quit. Discipline isn't perfection, it's persistence. You're not building a habit, you're building an identity. You're telling your brain, this is who I am now. I am the type of person who shows up, who stays consistent, who doesn't need fireworks to stay committed. So don't underestimate small steps. They may feel slow, but they're building something unstoppable. Because when the world looks for shortcuts, the disciplined build foundations. And over time, those small bricks form the wall between average and greatness. Excuses are the enemy of greatness. Let's be brutally honest. Excuses are the stories we tell ourselves to feel better about not taking action. They sound reasonable, they feel comfortable, but in truth, they are the invisible chains holding you back from the life you were meant to live. Excuses are seductive. They whisper things like, I don't have time, I'm just too tired, it's not the right moment, I'll start on Monday. But guess what? It's never about time, it's about priority. It's never about energy, it's about commitment. And it's never about the right moment, it's about making the moment right. When you make excuses, you're building a wall between where you are and where you want to be. Each excuse adds another brick, and the more you feed them, the higher that wall grows, until one day you can't even see your goals anymore. Excuses don't protect your potential, they bury it. You see, discipline and excuses cannot live in the same mind. Where discipline exists, excuses are starved. But where excuses take root, discipline dies. That's why you have to become ruthless with your thinking. Call yourself out, expose the lie. Because most of the time, deep down, you know when an excuse is just fear in disguise. You say, I'm not ready. But really, you're afraid of failing. You say, I don't have what it takes. But really, you're afraid of being seen trying and still falling short. But let this sink in. Every excuse is stealing time from your destiny. Think of where you'd be right now if you had followed through instead of backing out. Think of how far you could have gone if you had taken action instead of overthinking. What if instead of delaying, you decided that today is the day you stop negotiating with your potential? Because the truth is harsh but liberating. You can have excuses or you can have results. You can't have both. The peyote. You admire the ones crushing it in their field. They have the same 24 hours as you. They've faced setbacks, doubts, and distractions too. But they made a different choice. They chose discipline over excuses, ownership over blame, action over hesitation. You don't need permission to be great. You need discipline to show up anyway. So the next time your mind tries to offer you a way out, don't take it. Don't accept the bait. Stand firm and say, not today, not anymore. Because your destiny is too important to be delayed by something as small as an excuse. This is your life, your time, your moment. No more stories, no more reasons why not. Only action, only progress, only the path forward. The time for excuses is over. The time for discipline is now. Discipline creates freedom. It sounds backward, doesn't it? The idea that discipline, often seen as restriction, is actually the gateway to freedom. Most people think freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want. They believe freedom means no rules, no limits, no structure. But that kind of freedom often leads to chaos, confusion, and regret. Let me break it down for you. Real freedom, the kind that brings peace, purpose, and power, only comes through discipline. Let's take your health. If you eat anything you want, anytime you want, and skip every workout, you may feel free for a while. But eventually, your body pays the price. You lose energy, you lose confidence, you lose control. Now flip it. If you discipline yourself to eat clean, move your body, and rest properly, you might say no to short-term pleasure. But what you gain is long-term vitality, energy, and confidence. That's freedom. Let's talk about money. Spend every dollar you earn on what feels good in the moment, and you'll feel stuck living paycheck to paycheck. But if you discipline yourself to budget, invest, and delay gratification, you build a financial future that gives you options. That's freedom. Time, same story. Without structure, your day controls you. You're always rushing, always behind, always reacting. But when you own your morning, master your calendar, and focus on what matters, you're not just surviving your day, you're owning it. And that is the freedom most people never get to feel. Discipline is not a punishment, it's a promise to your future self. A promise that says, I value the life I want more than the impulse I feel right now. You see, discipline gives you clarity. It helps you strip away the distractions, the temptations, the noise. It aligns your actions with your values and your goals. And the best part, the more disciplined you become, the easier everything else gets. Not because life is easier, but because you are stronger. You've trained yourself to stay the course. You've proven to yourself that you can choose growth over comfort. Most people live trapped by their own habits. Their impulses run the show, but not you, not anymore, because now you understand the truth. Discipline isn't the opposite of freedom, it's the foundation of it. You can live how you want tomorrow if you discipline yourself today. You can build the career, the body, the relationships, the mindset. All of it becomes possible when you stop chasing momentary pleasure and start committing to purposeful action. So ask yourself, where in my life do I need to tighten the reins? What's one area I can get more intentional, more consistent, more focused? That's where your freedom lives. Discipline is the key. Freedom is the result. And your destiny, it's waiting on the other side of your commitment. Discipline under pressure. It's easy to be disciplined when everything is going your way. When the sun is shining, your schedule is clean, your body feels strong, and your mind is focused. Discipline feels effortless. But life doesn't work like that. Life brings pressure, distraction, exhaustion, chaos. And it's in the chaos that your true discipline is revealed. The gym is packed. Your deadlines are closing in. You're emotionally drained, mentally foggy, and your day just fell apart. That's when most people fold. That's when excuses creep in. That's when the voice in your head whispers, just skip today, just this once. But hear this, the moments when it's hardest to stay disciplined are the very moments that define you. Anybody can be consistent when it's easy, but when it's hard, that's where champions are made. Real discipline doesn't just show up when the conditions are perfect. It shows up because the conditions aren't. It's the decision to train when your body is sore, to read when your mind is tired, to push when your spirit says pause. Think of a soldier. They don't train for when everything is calm. They train for the storm, and so should you. Because pressure is not your enemy, it's your proving ground. It's what separates those who wish from those who will, those who hope from those who execute. When life gets chaotic, most people shrink. They say, I can't focus right now, I'll get back to it later, or I'm just too overwhelmed. But the truth, your future is built in these very moments, when you feel like quitting, when your emotions scream stop, when the weight of the world is pressing down and you still choose to rise. That's what creates resilience. That's how mental toughness is formed. Discipline under pressure teaches you that your feelings don't have to run your life. You can feel tired, distracted, emotional, and still take action. And every time you do, you expand what's possible. You show yourself, I can handle more. You stretch your capacity. You grow your grit. So the next time pressure builds and everything feels like it's closing in, pause. Take a breath and remind yourself, this is the moment I'm built for. This is where I grow. This is where the old me ends and the disciplined version of me begins. Success isn't reserved for those with the perfect setup. It's earned by those who execute under imperfect conditions. Because when the storm comes, and it will, the world doesn't need more people who panic. It needs people who've trained in the dark, who stayed the course, who made discipline their compass in the chaos. Be that person. You become what you tolerate. Take a look around your life right now. Your health, your relationships, your finances, your mindset. Everything you see is a direct reflection of what you've been willing to tolerate. That's right. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you allow. If you tolerate procrastination, you'll live in delay. If you tolerate chaos, you'll drown in disorder. If you tolerate excuses, mediocrity becomes your baseline. And here's the kicker. Most people don't even realize what they're tolerating until it's too late. Discipline starts when you decide to raise your standards. When you draw a line in the sand and say, I'm done settling for less than I'm capable of. Let's break it down. You skip workouts, you sleep in, you break your promises to yourself. You think it's just one day. But that one day becomes your identity. And before you know it, you've built a life around tolerating your lowest self. That's what discipline attacks. Not just bad habits, but the mindset that tells you it's okay to keep living below your potential. You see, every time you let something slide, you train yourself to believe that it's acceptable. Your brain doesn't care what your goals are. It follows your behavior. And if your behavior says, I don't follow through, I accept less, I give up when it's hard, that becomes your default operating system. Discipline is the only way to reprogram that mindset. It forces you to confront the gap between who you are and who you could be. And when you finally stop tolerating your excuses, your laziness, your fear, that's when real transformation begins. Ask yourself, what have I been tolerating in my life that's keeping me small? Where have I lowered my standards just to feel comfortable? What behavior, if I eliminated it today, would immediately level up my future? This is about self-respect. Discipline. Line is not just about doing hard things, it's about becoming someone you're proud of. It's about showing up for yourself so consistently that you no longer tolerate being average. And here's something powerful. When you raise your standards, the world rises with you. You start attracting better relationships. You start making better decisions. You stop playing the victim and start living like the author of your story. It won't be easy. It will challenge everything you've been conditioned to believe. But that's the price of becoming unstoppable. You stop tolerating comfort and start demanding excellence from yourself first. Because once you believe you're worthy of a higher standard, you'll never settle again. So today, take inventory of your life. Decide what ends now. Decide who you're no longer willing to be. And then let discipline lead the way. Start now, win later. There's a moment in every journey where the excuses run out, the distractions fade, and the truth becomes impossible to ignore. That moment is now, right here, right now. This is your turning point, if you choose to take it. You've heard enough. You've waited long enough. You've imagined your goals, dreamed of change, whispered to yourself, one day. But let me ask you, how many one days have already passed? How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, only to repeat the same patterns? Understand this, your destiny doesn't respond to delay. It responds to discipline. If you want a better life, start acting like it matters today. Not when you feel like it. Not when the timing is perfect. Not when it's easy. Start now, because there is no perfect day. There is no magical burst of motivation coming to rescue you. There is only you and the decision you make in this moment. Will you repeat the cycle or will you rise? Discipline is about deciding that your future matters more than your comfort. It's about sacrificing temporary ease for long-term peace. It's about becoming the type of person who doesn't wait to be told what to do because you already know what needs to be done. And when you start showing up daily, consistently, intentionally, your life begins to change. Not overnight, not all at once, but brick by brick, rep by rep, moment by moment. You start building habits, you create momentum, and then something incredible happens. You begin to trust yourself again. You stop needing outside validation. You stop chasing the next motivational video because you've become your own source of power. Discipline breeds confidence. Confidence breeds momentum. And momentum breeds results. That's how you win. Not with intensity that lasts a day, but with consistency that lasts a lifetime. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter how many times you failed. What matters is this. You have the power to start now and win later. And let's be clear, there is no finish line. Discipline is not something you do for 30 days and forget. It's a lifestyle, a mindset, a way of being. Every day you choose discipline, you're choosing the life you actually want, not the one you've settled for. And the more you choose it, the easier it becomes. So, no more waiting, no more watching others live the life you want, no more playing small, no more repeating yesterday. Start now. One small act of discipline today could completely rewrite the story of your life tomorrow. This is your moment. This is your move. Discipline isn't just your path to success, it's your legacy. Make it count. So now you've heard it all. We've walked through the truth about motivation, excuses, small habits, and the raw power of discipline. But here's the bottom line. None of this matters if you don't act. You can listen to every motivational speech, read every self-help book, watch every success story. But if you don't apply it, if you don't live it, nothing will change. The life you want won't magically appear. The version of you you dream about becoming isn't created in your imagination. They are both built through action, repetition, and above all, discipline. And maybe you're thinking, but I've failed before. Good. That means you've tried. That means you're human. But this time, it's different. Because this time, you're no longer chasing a feeling. You're chasing your standard. This time, you don't need to feel motivated to move forward. You just need to commit to doing what must be done, regardless of how you feel. Because discipline is not about perfection. It's about showing up, especially when it's hard. It's about choosing long-term peace over short-term pleasure. It's about honoring your word, even when no one is watching. You don't have to make a massive leap today. Just one small decision, one step forward, one moment of saying, I will not break the promise I made to myself. And when tomorrow comes, do it again and again, until it becomes who you are, not just what you do. Because discipline rewires your identity. It transforms you from the inside out. You stop needing outside validation because your consistency builds internal confidence. And let me tell you something. When you become disciplined, you become dangerous. Not to others, but to every lie, limitation, and excuse that ever tried to hold you back. You become the one people look at and wonder, how do they keep going? The answer? You stopped making it optional. You made it a no, and negotiable. And your life reflects that level of commitment. So as we wrap this up, here's your challenge. No more I'll try. No more maybe someday. No more when I feel ready. From this moment forward, speak with action. Let your discipline do the talking. Let your consistency become your loudest flex. Because your destiny isn't waiting on talent. It's waiting on discipline. It's waiting on the daily, deliberate, determined steps you choose to take, starting now. So take that step. Claim your power. And don't just be inspired, be transformed. Your destiny is yours to build. No more waiting, no more excuses. Your discipline determines your destiny. Now go prove it.